everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How's it going? I'm Chef Ben. This is Dinner with Ben, Season 2, Episode 1, brought to you by Ashworks Cutting Boards and T-North Carbonated Iced Tea. And today we are making one of my personal favorites, orange chicken. Hello, Kat. Hello, Steve. Hello, everybody. That's all right, Kat. I understand completely. So, first of all, I just want to say how happy I am and how excited I am for Season 2. I'm really looking forward to it. I have a lot of things planned. Nothing that I can talk about yet, but hopefully there will be some new things, some exciting things, and some things that I think you'll all be very excited about. There is one thing I can say. Hello, Patrick. Hello, Deanna. Hello, everybody. So, hello, Sue. So, tomorrow, the recipes from this show will be released in PDF. I don't know if I can upload them to Facebook or how I'm going to do it yet, but I do have all the recipes in PDFs, so you can have the actual written out recipes. So if you want to cook this stuff later, you don't have to watch the whole video again. You can just get the recipes. Again, I'm not sure if I can upload them to Facebook or not. We'll figure that out tomorrow. And from here on out, after every episode, the next day, I'm going to say hopefully the next day, I'll release all of the recipes from that previous night's episode, so then you guys can just have the recipes. What I might end up doing is just uploading them to my website, because again, I'm not sure if I can share PDFs on Facebook like that. I'm so glad to see you all. Thank you so much for coming back. I hope that you all had a fantastic holiday. I know I did, and I am very excited to be back doing the show. Who's ready to cook? The first thing we are going to do today is the butter chicken. I buttered chicken last night. Is the orange chicken. So how this is going to work is because we have 3 dishes that pretty much all need the wok, which I forgot to grab. I'll have to grab that in a second. I'm a little out of practice with my setup. I was a little bit behind. I was rushing around a bit. So the first thing we're going to do is actually the orange chicken sauce, and then we're just going to get everything prepped so that when it comes time to finish everything, we're good to go. So we'll do the sauce for the orange chicken. We'll batter the orange chicken because we're going to have to batter it. We're going to deep fry. We'll get into that in a bit. I know a lot of people are nervous about that. That's fine. I'll walk you through it. We'll make sure everybody's safe. So once that's ready, we'll set that aside. Or actually, we'll probably just finish it off. Then we'll do the chow mein really quick, and the last thing we'll do is the fried rice. Now, for the fried rice, I do have rice here, and I hope you do too. I said 1 cup. Looking at it, it's not very much, but there's a lot of other food, so I think we'll be okay. This rice I cooked today. I should have made it yesterday. With fried rice, you kind of want dried out, slightly dried out rice. So you want to cook it, put it in the fridge, let it dry out for a day or 2. That makes the perfect fried rice. This is fresher, but it'll still be okay. It'll still be fine, but you're not going to get the kind of separation of the grains that you might want. But that's okay. We're all right with that. So without further ado, let's start cooking. So first thing we're going to do is make our sauce for the orange chicken. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a medium pot, just like this cool guy right here, and we are going to heat it up over like medium heat, add some sesame oil to it. Then we're going to add some garlic, ginger, and the white part of some green onions all chopped up. We're going to cook that for 2 to 3 minutes. We'll add some soy sauce to it, some orange juice, some brown sugar, some rice wine, and let that cook. And then finally we'll add some cornstarch to thicken it up. So let's get into that. So, I should say also, you may notice that there's no guest here tonight. I did say that I'm going to have more guests this season. That's very true, but this is the first episode. And hello Christine, hello everybody. As this is the first episode, I kind of wanted to do it alone. Call me selfish, I don't know. But next week we will have a guest. I don't know who it's going to be yet, but we will have a guest. And I'm very excited for that. And my wife just got on. Hello. So, first thing we're going to do is grate some ginger and some garlic. My ginger is in the freezer. So I'm going to grab that. Okay. Frozen ginger, no problem. Just going to take a grater. If your ginger isn't frozen or you don't have a grater, that's fine. You can just chop it really fine through a food processor or whatever you want. So I'm going to grate about 2 tablespoons of ginger, okay? Just like this. Ginger, I noticed like the grocery stores, they're not selling the individual roots anymore. You got to buy a bag of them. There's a whole bunch. So freezing it is a really good way to preserve it. And then you just take it out and you can use it fresh. You don't even need to peel it. Just scrape the peel right in. Just like this. We're at about a tablespoon. We got a little more to go. That's okay. So, as most of you probably know, hello Donna. As most of you probably know, my first job ever was actually in a Chinese restaurant, like a mall Chinese food restaurant. And so this is like, this takes me back to like my first days in the kitchen. So I'm excited for it, and I love Chinese food, and I don't get to eat it very often. A little bit. Speakers are being weird. Okay, so I have about 2 tablespoons of ginger in here. I'm just going to throw this back in the freezer. Now we're going to do the same in garlic, or just 2 cloves of garlic, I guess. And since I have the grater, might as well grate them. My wife decided to make all kinds of noise over there, I see. So I'm just going to crush the garlic, just get the peel off, and then we'll start grating it. I feel a little out of practice today. It's going to take me an episode or 2 to get back in the swing of things, I think, guys. But that's all right. All right, so we have 2 tablespoons of grated ginger in here, and now we're just going to grate in 2 cloves of garlic. And again, I will be releasing all the recipes tomorrow. Christina Rose says that she noticed the ginger skin is still on as I was grating it, and that her old boss says it's healthy and edible. It's true. There's no need to really peel it. If it's, for whatever reason, when it's fresh, I peel it. When it's frozen, I don't. Just make sure you wash it. Generally, I would say wash it and dry it before you freeze it. And then you just take it out, grate it, and put it back. But yeah, there's lots of nutrients in the skin. It's really good for you. And we just finished grating this garlic up. So once we get this grated, we'll just cut up the green onions, and then we'll start kind of cooking this stuff. Okay, so that's good. Set this aside for now. We'll kind of get this pan preheating just over like a medium-low heat, so I'm just putting it on 4, just on the low side of medium. And now for this to start with, we just want the white parts. So what we're going to do, of our green onions I should say, so what we're going to do is just line them right up. And as soon as they kind of turn green, we'll take the green bits off. And then we'll just take the roots off. And we're not going to waste the green bits, we're going to use them, but we'll add them later on. I'm just going to chop these up nice and fine. Chop, 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 chop. Okay. So we have those chopped up, and it's 4 green onions. Okay. So now we're just waiting for that pan to heat up, and then we'll get all this stuff in there. I'm going to use the spatula just because the ginger and the garlic are grated so fine, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So again, the way this is going to work is we're going to heat this up. We're going to add some sesame oil to it, just about a tablespoon. Then we'll add our ginger, our garlic, and the white part of our green onions. Cook that for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. We'll add some orange juice, So we got to juice some oranges as well. We need about the juice of 3 oranges should be good, and then we'll thicken it up. So while that's heating, let's juice some oranges. So we'll just set the green bits aside. I'm going to add the green onions into my ginger and garlic. Just like that. And what am I going to juice these into? We will juice them into this bowl. So just like lemons and limes, we want to first roll the orange. Hey Scott, nice to see you. So we're just rolling the orange, and then, as you guys should know by now, we're not going to cut it right across the equator. We're going to cut it offside, north to south. Right? So just like the lemons and limes, so just like that, and of course the reason being that we get way more juice out of it, right? We're not fighting with the natural structure of the orange, we're working with it, and we get way more juice. And these are just navel oranges, and they smell absolutely amazing. So we'll do the same thing, squeeze that out. And again, get as much juice as we can out of there. And then with this part, we just cut it in half and give it a nice big squeeze. Oh yeah, good stuff. These smell delicious. This is going to be really good. Okay, again, orange, we roll it. North to south, just off center. Just like that. Fantastic. Christina Rose, it works very well, especially with, like, lemons and limes tend to be a lot firmer than oranges. So this technique works especially well for those. It works really well for oranges too, but it makes juicing lemons and limes much easier. We are not going to use any of the zest today. Not for this. But you can save it. If you wanted to, you could take it off and save it and use it. Hi Laura, hi Cassie, thanks for coming. I'm just juicing a couple oranges here. So final one. Again, roll north to south, off center. You guys know the drill. One more nice big squeeze. Actually, that pot's probably hot. Shoot the stuff in there. We don't want our pot to get too hot, because the ginger and the garlic are so fine that if they go in the pan and it's too hot, they're going to burn really, really quickly. And actually, that might be a little bit too hot, so we're going to take that off the heat. And then again, we have 2 tablespoons of grated ginger. We have 2 cloves of chopped garlic or grated garlic. And we have 4 white parts of green onion sliced up. So I'm just going to put this right in here. Just like that. And we're just going to cook that for a few minutes. Juicing. Juice. Perfect. Okay. Set that aside. Get everything kind of tidied up here. Since the oranges are nice and sticky. And this already smells good. Just that ginger, garlic, and the sesame oil. Got a little bit of onion. Smells terrific. So we're just going to cook that until the green onions soften. The ginger and the garlic are so finely grated that it doesn't take long for them to cook at all. So the next step is we're going to add the juice and the brown sugar. So we might as well just add everything into the juice, and that way when it's ready, we're good to go. So I have half a cup of brown sugar here, but I actually only need 1/3 of a cup. I don't know why I did that. So we're not going to use this whole thing. Right? Oh no, I do need half a cup. Sorry, my bad, guys. Okay. Half a cup of brown sugar. To this we're going to add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm obviously using tamari, which is gluten-free soy sauce. Hi, Wendy. My eye is very good, thank you, as you can tell. I don't know if you guys can see, it's pretty far away, but there's just a little bit of a scab left on the top. Other than that, it's perfect. I can see perfectly. Everything's good. Hello, Miss Juanita. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Laura. Hello, everybody. So, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful. I can count to 3. And then we also need, what else do we need here? Rice wine. So I thought I had rice wine. No. Yeah, we're going to use Mirin instead. I thought I had rice wine. I don't. So I'm actually going to use Mirin. You can use white wine vinegar. You can use, if you're using vinegar, go very careful because it doesn't call for vinegar, but just go light with it and it'll be fine. Probably do half the volume. So what do I need in here? I need 2 tablespoons. So 1, that was a little much. And 2. Perfect. And this stuff smells like it's cooking. Oh yeah. So I know you probably can't see in there very well, but everything smells amazing. The onions are nice and soft. What's the question? Christina Rose, yes, you can use honey instead of brown sugar if you'd like. So next step is we're just going to dump this right in here. Now, because I'm actually giving you guys the written recipes now, you'll see me kind of following the recipes a little more specific because I want what you make to be exactly what's written down. So I'm writing the recipes before, and then I'm actually going to follow them so that you guys have the same results. And again, I will be putting the recipes out in some way tomorrow, either in PDFs. So what we're going to do is bring this up to a boil. Get it all over the floor and yourself. That's part of it. And we're just going to let that go for a few minutes. In the meantime, we're going to mix up 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with half a cup of water. So we're just going to use this guy right here. Or actually, we might as well just use a measuring cup. So put our cornstarch in here first. One tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, and about a half cup of water. Okay, mix that up, set it aside. We're just going to let this cook down for about 8 minutes. But after it comes to a boil, we'll turn the heat down and reduce it. Okay, next step, I'm going to make some batter for Little Trinity. We have to make some batter for the chicken. So we just have boneless, skinless chicken breast right here. I already cubed it up. It's about 1 inch by 1 inch cubes. So that's going to be for our orange chicken, obviously. But we have to deep fry it. And again, I know deep frying scares people. We're going to talk about it. And I want to say that I have no responsibility if you hurt yourself. I'm going to do my best to explain it in a way so that you won't. But if you are at all worried about it, then don't do it. Okay, you can just throw the chicken in wok, get it nice and brown, and then add the sauce to it. It'll be good. It won't be quite the same, but it'll be okay. So for the batter, we're going to use 1 egg, half a cup of cornstarch, 1/3 of a cup of flour, and a pinch of salt. Now I'm going to use gluten-free flour. It's just gluten-free all-purpose. Everything else will be the same as what you're doing. So we'll just take our bowl. So 1/3 of a cup of gluten-free flour. Okay. Now this is boiling away, so I'm actually going to turn it down to kind of a lower temp and let that simmer. It already smells amazing. That smells really, really delicious. And we need, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm just burning through spoons here today. Okay, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and a half cup of water. This guy's 1/4. And I'm using cold water. Okay. The reason being that we're about to put an egg in here, and we do not want to cook our egg. Okay, so 1 egg, and we're going to mix it up. So it looks pretty gross, but it'll look good once we get it all mixed up in here. Now this is a little bit thin. I think it might be because I'm using gluten-free flour. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more gluten-free flour into this. Not too much. Wendy. Oh, you're absolutely right, Wendy. Thank you. I was reading... Thank you, Wendy. I was reading the wrong thing. So now I have to add more cornstarch in here because it is supposed to be half a cup of cornstarch. Oh, no. Thanks, Wendy. Thank you for saving the day. Appreciate it. Guys, like I said, I'm feeling a bit rusty. It's going to take an episode or two to get back in the game, I think. That's all right. So now I've added more water, or more flour to this, and more cornstarch. And it still looks thin, Jesus. That's good. Just bear with me. I'm just going to eyeball this. Don't try this at home, everybody. Okay, there we go. That's looking better. So it doesn't have to be too thick, but you want it, thick enough to coat the chicken. It's pretty important. Anastasia, nice to see you. Okay, so there we go. That'll coat it up nice. So we're just going to add the chicken right in and let it kind of sit in here. Give it a nice mix. There we go. And we're just going to let that sit until we're ready for it. Then we clean up again. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Chris. Hello, everybody. Okay. So, this is doing its thing. I'm going to grab my wok. I'll be right back. Okay. Alright, so the chicken's pretty much ready to go. We're just waiting for the sauce, and we don't want to cook it too soon because everything else needs to be prepped. So while we're waiting for the sauce and we're getting ready, let's get everything else ready to go. So the next thing we're going to focus on is actually the chow mein. Now this is not the kind of chow mein that has noodles. This is more of a Canadian-American version of chow mein. When I was growing up and working in a Chinese restaurant when I was younger, chow mein was just beans, sprouts, and vegetables. Lo mein had noodles. So when I came up with this, that's what I had in mind. So that's what we're doing. You could always just add some noodles to this. So what we need is 1 carrot, which we're going to grate. And I'll use the bigger one for this. So we're going to grate that. We're going to use some bean sprouts, which I have back here. These are already washed. This is just 1 small bag. We're going to cook down so it's not going to look like nearly as much. We're going to use this onion. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to use probably 3/4 of it, and then we'll use the other quarter for the rice. We're going to use some button mushrooms, just 4 ones. These ones are pretty big, so that's okay. And we're going to use some white cabbage. Now, I'm going to peel some of the bigger leaves off this. I don't want to just cut into it because I'm actually going to use the rest of this to make cabbage rolls in a couple of days. So I'm just going to peel some of these outer leaves off of here. Get rid of those. And then we'll just peel a couple of these guys off, and that should be good. And then the other thing is we're just going to make the sauce for it. So this is going to be a really simple dish. It's going to be really quick. And we'll be able to do it, clean the wok really quickly, and then get the next thing going. And then once we're done this, we'll prep the rice, and then we'll get cooking. And I know I said about 4 minutes for that sauce, but I turned it way down, so I'm going to let it go for another couple of minutes. And let's see. That's enough. That's enough cabbage. So I'm just going to give this stuff a rinse. Beautiful. Everybody loves clean cabbage. Did you say not you? Apparently my wife likes dirty cabbage. Just kind of weird, but she's a weird lady. So first thing I might as well just get rid of this cabbage. It's taking up a lot of room. So I'm just going to chop this as fine as I can. You can grate it on a cheese grater, throw it through a food processor, whatever you want. I'm just going to really quickly run my knife over it. Just like this, nice and thin. We want this to cook really, really quickly, so that's why we're cutting it so thin. Chop, 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 chop. Nastasia, it just takes practice cutting like this. Anybody can do it. Could you? Wendy, I mean, you could use a bag of old coleslaw mix, but I find they, A, they always have a weird taste to me. B, the red cabbage. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you couldn't. It's just, I prefer to do things from scratch, but if you want to do that, knock yourself out. I'm not gonna criticize you for it, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna chop up these mushrooms. I said quarter the mushrooms, but these are pretty big, so I'm actually gonna cut these in like 6s or 8s even. Just put them on here. So, for those of you saying that you wish you could cut like this, here's the key. Curl your fingers back. Don't put your first knuckle on the board. Put your fingertips on the board. Curl your fingers back. Hold your knife in a comfortable grip up against your fingers. Keep it in contact. And then, instead of lifting up your knife and chopping, just rock your knife like this. So the tip of your knife is always on the cutting board. Just like this. Mushrooms. Just like this. And the knife is always in contact with your fingers. That's it. And then I'm just kind of walking my fingers back. That takes practice, but that's how you do it. It's just about always having the knife in contact with your fingers and having the knife never really leave the board. Because if it's not coming up off the board, you have way more control because you have 2 points of contact as opposed to just one, right? And if it's touching your hand, then you actually have 3 points of contact, which gives you the most control over the knife. Okay? It's not, it looks really, really difficult, but I promise, once you get the hang of it, it is super simple. And it only takes, really, you could figure it out in a day or two if you practice it. Okay, so this stuff is reduced by about a third. So a third its volume. So I'm going to add the cornstarch and water in here now. I'm just going to mix it up because all the cornstarch is settled to the bottom. So, okay, Nastasia says she's scared to cut herself. So when the knife is in contact with your finger and your finger is curled back in the proper position, you are way less likely to cut yourself than if your fingers are way back here and you're holding your knife back here and you're just kind of flopping around. It's all about control, right? So if you are in control of the knife, you know where it is in relation to your fingers, it's in contact with them, your finger is flat against the blade, the chances of you cutting yourself, unless you do something wrong and flatten your fingers, is very, very, very slim. Like very slim. You're way more likely to cut yourself being scared of the knife than just kind of embracing the fact that it is a knife. Well, guys, I also have like almost 20 years of experience cooking with a knife, so don't really hold yourself to the same standards that I hold myself to. Okay, so I'm just going to stir this. It's going to thicken up real quick because that cornstarch is in there. Oh, this looks really good. Oh, that's delicious. So there's one more thing we're going to add in there. Actually, two more things. Some chili. So I said, I'm just going to set this chow mein stuff aside for a sec. I said red finger chilies. I couldn't find any, so I actually have, what is this? A Fresno chili. Couldn't remember if it was a Serrano or a Fresno. So this is not very hot. It's less hot than a jalapeno. So I don't need too much of it. Or I can use a lot of it rather. But all I'm going to do is cut the ends off. This is a little soft, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to slice it. I'm going to leave the seeds in because I want a little bit of heat in here. You can take them out if you prefer. Oh, I got it in my eye. And we're just going to chop this up. That is correct, Christine, sorry. I am a ninja. It is true. Look at me. I'm dressed in black. I've got knives. It's very true. Just don't tell my niece that. If anybody read that story, you'll understand why. I'm a little scared of her. She's terrifying. Okay, so we're just going to throw this chili right in here. And I'm just going to chop up the rest of this green onion and throw that in as well. It's true. I do have black socks on, but I don't know if I can lift my leg. Nope, I have clogs on, not flip-flops, but pretty much the same thing. They slip on and off easily. Okay. Clean board. Once again, let's get back here for a sec. Take a look at this. Oh, it's thickening up real nice. Real nice indeed. So hopefully you can see. I'll just bring it up. We're just going to come close. So I don't know. I hope you can see this. See how thick that is. It smells absolutely amazing. Whew, I'm pumped for this. So this is done. We're just going to set that aside. Turn the burner off. It's finished. We'll throw a lid on it. And we'll come back to it when we're ready for the chicken. Step one done. Awesome. Okay, let's finish up these mushrooms. Get this out of the way. Mushrooms. That's my mushroom song. It's one line. It just goes, mushrooms. Whole song. Beautiful. It's a hit. So again, I'm just kind of cutting these in eighths or quarters, depending on the size of your mushrooms, whatever you want. Okay. Carrot. So I just need to peel. And cut the ends off first. When I was younger, I used to peel the carrot with the ends on. And then my chef at the time was like, why are you doing that? Why don't you take the ends off? And I said, I don't know why. He said, well, you're peeling the ends. It's just a waste of time. And I never really thought of it like that. And I don't think it's really that true, but now I generally cut the ends off first. Peel, peel, peel. Get rid of that. Now, I said to grate the carrot, and you can. I'm actually, again, going to slice it. But if you want to use a cheese grater, do it up. It'll get nice and thin, and maybe even a little crispy when you fry it, which is delicious. Hi Joe, nice to see you. So I'm just gonna again slice this really thin, show off a little of my ninja skills, guys. Huh? My wife's rolling her eyes at me. They called me a ninja. I didn't say that. Chop, 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 chop. What? Chop, 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 chop.
That should be your new tagline.
Oh. So we have some carrot, we have some cabbage, we have some mushrooms. Let's onion, guys. Let's onion. So again, I'm not going to use this whole thing because we're going to save some for the fried rice. That carrot was spicy from that chili. And I'm regretting putting that whole chili and all the seeds in there now. Because that carrot is really spicy. It's fantastic. Oh, so Christina, I don't know why, I'm sorry I keep calling Christina. Christine says that she struggles with onions. She cries lots. So first thing there is a really sharp knife. Very important when you're cutting onions. The second thing is not to mangle them, if that makes sense. I'll show you what I mean. So we're actually going to slice these onions, or most of these onions. I'll dice for the fried rice. So all I did is take the ends off. And now again, I'm just going to slice. Now, it's a rocking motion. If you're forcing your knife down through the onion, you're going to spray onion juice everywhere in the air, and that's what's going to make you cry. It's going to get in your sinuses, and it's going to be bad news. So if you just kind of drag your knife in this motion, you're slicing through it as opposed to pushing down on it. Right? So the knife is just dragging through. And you can go forward and backwards. So you can cut coming forward, or cut coming backwards, and then cut, whichever way you prefer. See? And doing this, you're not spreading as much onion juice. So this combined with a really sharp knife and breathing through your mouth, you shouldn't cry at all. But you're going to notice that at some times of the year, the onions are more potent. This time of year especially. But in the spring, all the kind of, I don't know if it's tannins, I can't remember what it's called. But the chemical that's making your eyes water is turning to sugar in the spring so that the green parts of the onion can be pushed up through the ground. And so in the spring, or like late winter, they're a lot sweeter, so they don't burn as much. But in the early fall and into the winter, they can be very, very strong. These ones aren't so bad though. So we just slice. Okay, just like that. And now this one, I'm actually going to cut it in half through the root, and we're going to save that. Get rid of this. See? No tears. No tears. Yeah, it's true. That's why it's actually easier to caramelize onions in the spring than it is in the winter. Funny enough. Because there's more sugar. Okay, let's get these onions off here. Come on, onions. Now let's whip up a quick sauce for the chow mein. So what do we need for the chow mein? We need 2 to 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce, a little bit of rice wine vinegar, and that's it. So hoisin sauce. Usually what I use is, I think, Rooster brand or something like that. But, oh my God, Steve, what'd you say? It's not actually the whole onion that makes you tear up. Did you just Google that? Did you get that from Wikipedia? Very true. Alright, so carrot. This is VH. I need a drink, sorry. I don't typically like VH products. I find their soy sauce, when I could use it, was very, very harsh. And I find most of their sauces are way too sweet and overly seasoned. However, this was the only gluten-free hoisin sauce I could find. I know there are other versions, but this was the only one I could find, so that's what I'm using. Hi Shauna, we are making orange chicken, chow mein, and fried rice tonight, and we're almost ready to cook. So I've never tried this hoisin sauce. It's pretty sweet. That is very sweet. Oh, it's not too bad. It's better than nothing, I'll tell you that. Okay. Whew. It's really garlicky too, because it's garlic hoisin sauce, now that I'm reading it. Perfect. Perfect. Oh God, that's a lot of garlic. It's a lot of like raw garlic flavor. Okay, let's make a sauce.
You look so impressed.
Little bowl. Here we go. So we're going to put in 2 to 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. 1, 2, 3. 3 of those. Let's go 2 tablespoons of this stuff. I would recommend buying just regular hoisin sauce from the International Food section. But this is what I have. So 2 tablespoons. Oh, that wasn't quite 2. We'll go a little bit more. 2 tablespoons of that stuff. Do we need anything else in there? Yes. I'm going to add a little bit of white wine vinegar to this because I could not find my rice wine vinegar. So we're going to add a little bit of white wine vinegar, excuse me, just about 2 teaspoons. 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. There we go. Well, don't look at me like that. I'm in a weird mood. Leave me alone. Guys, my wife's just staring at me like I'm crazy.
Your cat
Yes,
too.
yes, Christine, my wife is making fun of me tonight. It's terrible. She's hurting my feelings. She's mean. She's very mean lady. Okay, sauce is ready for the chow mein. Final thing we have to... My cat is also staring at me. She's down here just... Anyway, she looks very bored. Fried rice is the final thing. So, I'm just going to use some carrot. I have some frozen peas here. I have my pre-cooked 1 cup of rice. And to that we're going to add this diced onion. We're going to add an egg a little later on, a little bit of soy sauce, and that's it. So we're just going to take this onion. It's really hard to do this when it's in quarters, so I don't recommend doing this. But this is the same technique for if it's a half onion as well. You'll leave the root attached, and then you make a couple horizontal slices, and then a couple vertical slices. Rotate the onion, and then you get evenly, perfectly diced onion. Okay? Except for that piece. Okay, perfect. So we don't need much onion because we don't have much rice here. And same with the carrot. We don't really need too much of it. Suze, do you want to feed her? There's no food in there anyway. And our cat looks like she's dying for food. She isn't. We feed her a lot. She's pretty fat. Okay. So, I'm just going to peel them. This is a very small carrot, so I'm going to use the whole thing. But, if you're using a bigger carrot and only 1 cup of rice, I wouldn't use all of it. So, I just want to cut this about the same size that I'm cutting my onions. And it's going to work out to be about a 1/4 cup. About a 1/4 cup carrot, about a 1/4 cup of onions. Should be good. Okay, before I finish this, I'm actually going to heat up the oil. So I have about 1 liter of oil in here. Just canola oil. And I'm just going to turn this on to kind of 7. We're going to heat it up. If you have a candy thermometer at home, you want it to be about 350. I don't have one. I'm not going to use one. I'm going to show you how to eyeball it. Be very, very, very careful when working with hot oil. I'm serious. Be very careful. It can burn you. It's kind of what happened to my eye, but not quite the same thing. So please be very, very careful. It sucks getting burnt by hot oil, and this will burn you very badly. So make sure that pot handles are turned in. Use a back burner if you can. And just for the love of God, be very, very careful. So we'll get into what to do next. And again, if you use hot oil, you're doing so on your own volition. I take no responsibility and no liability for you hurting yourself. Sorry, I had to say that, but I didn't. Okay, so we'll finish cutting our carrots. They are cut. Our onions are cut. So now we're really just kind of waiting for this to heat up so that we can fry our chicken. And then we're good to do everything else. In the meantime, I'm just going to break this egg into this little ramekin here. For this exact reason, I got some shell in there. That's why we do it in a ramekin. Hi Noah, nice to see you. Thank you very much. Hello Amanda, nice to see you. Christine, if the onion is kind of loose, like it's an older onion, it will definitely get wobbly. The way that I do it, we'll use the cabbage to demonstrate. So imagining that this is cut in half this way and it's sitting like this, what I'll normally do with the onion is kind of pinch it between my thumb and my pinky very gently, or even my thumb and my ring finger, and hold the ends together. And then I'll use these two fingers as my guide for the knife. And that generally works for me in keeping the onion together. But if your knife isn't sharp, it's not going to cut through the onion, it's just going to mangle it and push everything out. So a sharp knife is very, very important. Very true. Sue says never ever leave a pot of oil unattended. Very, very true. And just for the record, if it does catch on fire, all you do is take a lid, put it on it, and take it off the heat. Don't throw water at it. I almost swore, it'll explode everywhere. Just put a lid on it and take it off the heat. And the fire will go out on itself. It'll burn out of oxygen. And probably call the fire department. But again, don't throw water on it. Don't throw cornstarch or salt or anything at it. Just put a lid on it. If you have to grab an oven mitt, put a lid on it, and call the fire department. You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to answer questions about food. That's exactly it. So thank you for asking questions. I appreciate it. And while we're waiting, I will say again that tomorrow somehow I will be releasing the PDFs of these recipes so that you all have them. What was that? Why does it seem Does it seem like I'm holding them hostage or something? The recipes? Because I'm not. And while we're waiting, I'm also going to say. Oh, look! I dented. I didn't dent it. Look at this beautiful cutting board. It has my face on it. This was made by Ashworks Cutting Boards, and this is maple, which is very unique for them. And this is the only place you can buy it. There's only 4 in the whole world, and you can buy them. What? Why are you looking at me like my wife is driving me crazy? Get out of here! Get! You can buy these on my website, chefbenkelly.com. It's the only place in the whole world you can get them. And again, they're very beautiful. And thank you to Ashworks for making these. I love them very, very much. I had to do it, guys. I had to. Okay, we'll put that back. Right back there. Without breaking it. Now we're just going to wait for our oil. I'm just waiting. Does anybody else have any other questions while we're waiting for the oil to heat up? No? No? Cool. Well, you know what? Let's heat up the wok. We'll do the chow mein first. Wok on medium-high. Walk this way. I think that was an old cooking show, actually. No, it's Wok with Yen. What, Yen? Oh, Ruby, you missed so much. So much. We made orange chicken sauce. We diced some vegetables. We sliced some vegetables. It got crazy in here. But you're lucky because from now on, the recipes will be coming out in PDF the day after, more than likely the day after the show. How long have I been a chef for, Noah asks. Noah, I've been a chef for going on my 19th year. So that's a long time. So Shauna says her husband uses shake and bake seasoning on chicken, and the chicken always turns out dry. Any advice? Yes. Stop overcooking the chicken. That's pretty much it. People have a tendency to way overcook chicken because they're scared of it being raw. Go out, get yourself a thermometer. Doesn't have to be digital, just get a thermometer and cook it. So 170 is kind of where you want to go with like chicken legs or something like that to be safe. And that'll keep them a little drier. Other than that, you can brine the chicken. So that means just kind of soaking it in a solution of salt and water, sometimes sugar. And what will happen is the salt will get into the chicken and it'll expand the proteins. I think I'm explaining this right. It'll expand the proteins and allow them to absorb more moisture, and they'll hold on to more moisture, so when you cook it, the chicken will stay juicier. And that works really well for ribs, pork of any kind, chicken, really anything. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Christine. I love answering questions about food, and I'm always happy to answer them. Anastasia, I am not that old. I'm only 33. I just was 15 when I started. So I guess I am pretty old, now that I think about it. Okay, so we're going to check. No, the oil's not done. So when you look at the oil, it should kind of be shimmering. I just looked at mine in the bottom. I could see like ripples or like lines. So I know it's still heating up because that's the hot oil meeting the cold oil. So when it's all one temperature, it'll just look like a shimmering kind of mass. Oh, thanks, Krista. I appreciate that. I'm really glad to be back. I'm happy to be back on the show. It was a nice vacation, but I got kind of antsy near the end of it and just wanted to get back to work. Nastasia. Okay. Walks. Nothing's hot yet, guys. Jeepers. We're just waiting on things to get hot. That's all. Hi, Kathy. In my eyes, feeling very better. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. But I think that depends on perspective. Oh, thank you, Noah. Noah says you're only as old as you feel. That is very, very true. And sometimes I feel very old. I can tell you that. Okay. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit because the wok can be super hot. That's okay. It's okay if we have a hot wok. But we do need some dishes. So I'm just going to pull these guys down, and these will be our dishes for our dinner. You said it, this says, you know what I mean? You said. I wouldn't say that. It says that she's old. No, I don't think anybody's old. Noah's right. You're only as old as you feel. It's very true. Okay, let's check the temperature of our wok. All we're going to do, a little bit of water on our hands. It sizzles. There's no oil in there. So it's very important that you're not throwing water into oil. It's just a dry pan. So we're going to do the chow mein first. So about a tablespoon sesame oil. We're going to go onions and carrot. If you get a little bit of cabbage in here, not the end of the world. The reason we're not adding everything all at once is because you don't want to cool the wok down. You want to keep that temperature up because it's supposed to be a quick cooking method, right? So we want to make sure that it stays hot. Otherwise, so if you see the steam coming off the wok, that's moisture evaporating from the vegetables. If the wok cools down too much, that steam is going to stay in the pan as moisture. And all this liquid is going to cool in the bottom of the pan, and instead of doing these nice, crisp, seared vegetables, we're going to get soggy, steamed vegetables, which, you know, are good sometimes, but definitely not good for what we want right now. We want nice, crisp vegetables. So that's why we're adding the vegetables in stages. And we're going to let the wok come back up to temperature before we add the cabbage or the mushrooms and the bean sprouts. And it's only going to take about 2 minutes. That's almost done. That's almost ready to go. Ooh, guys, I'm excited. I very rarely get to eat Chinese food. I shouldn't say never, but very rarely because it all has so much gluten in it. Does anybody know of anywhere where I can buy gluten-free egg roll wrappers? If you do, send me a message because I would like to know, because I don't really want to make them, but I really want some egg rolls. I would like that very much. Okay, so the onions are starting to brown, the carrots are starting to soften. So next step, we're going to add the cabbage and the mushrooms together. We're not going to add the bean sprouts yet because there's going to be so much moisture coming out of them that we want to do that at the last minute, and we don't need to cook them too much anyway. It already, like, this is the simplest thing and it already smells so good. And I'm just going to turn the heat up a little bit so we can kind of maintain that temperature. Where did you need to watch it? This was actually given to me by a friend of mine. He had it for years and didn't use it. This is cast iron. I think they sell something similar at Stokes or Think Kitchen, I think. They have really nice, like, kind of enamel cast iron ones. Oh, guys. Oh, guys. I'm very excited for this. Okay, this oil I think is ready. Let's give it a little test. So all I'm going to do is put a piece of chicken in here and see what happens. So I'm grabbing the chicken by my hand. I'm shaking off any of the excess stuff. I'm going to take the chicken. I'm going to put it into the oil and then I'm going to gently let it go. Okay? If I drop it in, the oil is going to splash up and it's going to burn me. If I just carefully place it in, I'm way less likely to burn myself. But again, be super, super careful here. When I was first working in the Chinese restaurant as a kid, part of my job was battering pork. Like, I would spend like 2 hours a day battering pork and chicken. And after a while, you get, like, your hand would be covered in batter. And you wouldn't even notice that you've been dipping your hand in the oil because you had so much batter on your fingers that, like, you didn't even feel it until the residual heat carried through and you had built up so much heat that it started to burn you, so you had all this batter on your fingers. But that's not going to happen to you because you're not cooking that much. So we're going to do this in stages. I'm going to do about half and then we'll do the other half, just because we don't want to overload the pan. If you put too much in, it might overflow. It's going to cool the oil down too much. Okay, so we're going to come back to our Chow Mien. Oh my god, it smells so good. Okay, let's bean sprout. Yeah, Wendy, I'm just wondering if anybody knows where I can get gluten-free egg roll wrappers. So I'm going to use all these bean sprouts. Throw them all over there. And we're just going to let that cook down for a minute. Now I just want to make sure that the chicken isn't all stuck together in one big clump, because that's not going to be very good for us. So people often ask, how do you know if the chicken is done? It should look kind of golden brown, and the easiest way is to take a piece out, cut into it, and see. If you don't have a thermometer, or even if you do, it's always kind of safe to cut into it and have a look and see if it's cooked. But having the temperature on the thermometer and the visual confirmation that it's cooked is generally the best way to go. Get the tongs out here. Okay, last thing. We have our onion, our carrot, our mushroom, our bean sprout, our cabbage. Now we just need to drizzle our sauce in here. Give this a quick mix up. Get that all in there. Oh my God. I don't think this could smell better. I really don't. Oh God. I'm losing it. So really quickly, I'm just going to take the clean-ish cloth. I don't want any soap on it. I'm going to put it in here. I'm just going to wipe it around. Okay. Now we're going to put a bit more oil in, and we might as well just get the rice done. Oil basket. So this is our chow mein. Put this down. Let's give it a taste, guys. Come on. Oh man. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. Yes. Delicious. Perfect. Okay, let's thermometer these guys. Just to see. Oh, that's a done piece of chicken right there. We're done, so that's good. So I'm just going to use this guy. I'm just going to scoop the chicken out in here. And if you have any scraps of batter, just try and pick that out too. Okay, so this is starting to smoke, so let's get our onions and our carrots in here. There's a lot going on right now, I know that. I'm sorry. Okay, onions and carrots are cooking. We'll give those a stir. We'll turn this down a bit. Chicken. So same thing. Shake off any excess and then carefully place the chicken in the oil and then gently let go. And if you drop it, it will burn you. Okay. So I'm just oh, Wendy, that's a great idea. Wendy says she uses rice paper and then dredges it in a batter. That's a really, really good idea. Okay, so we have carrots, onions. The wok's nice and hot, so they're not taking long. We're going to add our peas. The color on those. Oh, my chicken's sticking together. Okay. Okay, throw some rice in here. Now, a lot of people swear that having a little bit of crispy rice, like if it burns to the bottom a little bit, you scrape that up, that's what they prefer. I don't actually like that much, but I know a lot of people do. And if you want that, then just let it stick a bit and then scrape it up. That's up to you. Okay, so we're going to add some sesame oil. We're going to add about a tablespoon of soy sauce in here. 2 tablespoons, sorry. I would say add 1 tablespoon, taste it, add a little bit more. We're going to add an egg. We're just going to let that egg cook for a second, then we'll scramble it in. Throwing carrots and rice and peas everywhere. Oh my god. Very true, Wendy. Very true. Ms. Desi asks, what's the best rice to use? So, I don't like buying a whole bunch of different kinds of rice. I don't see the point in it because I'm not going to eat it all. So I just generally buy basmati rice because I think it's a really good all-purpose rice. And so that's what I'm using for this. I'm sure that there are some rices that are better suited to it, but that's just what I prefer because it's what I always have on hand. Okay. Just going to shovel this out of here. Okay. Fried rice. Done. Now, I'm just going to add a bit of water in here. Just got to loosen everything up because that fried rice stuck a little bit. And then scrape all this off. Pull it out and wipe it off. I'm just going to wipe it out with a bit of paper towel. Beautiful. I'm just making a giant mess, but that's okay. It's Chinese food. Okay, let's check this stuff. So that can use. I think I broke my thermometer. Let's cut this. I definitely broke my thermometer. I got it too hot. But this is cooked, so that's good. Alright, so we'll move the oil off the heat. Heat's turned off, oil's safe. So the last thing we're going to do is turn this back on. We're going to heat up our sauce. We're going to toss our chicken in it. And that's going to be dinner. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so let's taste the rice here. Ooh, she's hot. Oh, that's really good. That tastes just like restaurant rice. Perfect. What did I break? What do you mean? I don't think I broke anything. Did I break something?
The thermometer, you just said.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, wife. I broke my thermometer. Sorry. Oh. So we're just going to let this sauce heat up for a sec. Yeah, Donna, sorry. I broke my thermometer. But that's okay. This is going to be so good. Okay, so once we get this sauce nice and hot, Danielle, I use Chinese five spice a lot. Actually, I love it. It's probably my favorite spice blend. I really enjoy it. I think she's gonna have a good dinner. Yeah, don't use minute rice, guys. Minute rice is bad news bears. Yeah, so Wendy, there's two things that I use different rice for. Sushi is one of them, and risotto is the other. I use arborio rice for risotto. Other than that, I pretty much just use basmati for everything else. Okay, this stuff's getting nice and thick. We're just gonna toss our chicken right in here. Oh my God. This is amazing. I can literally not wait to eat this. I am so excited. Oh God.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna be all right. You don't understand what's happening right now. Oh, let's shut this off. Let's get this out of the way. Got a nice, beautiful pile of dishes here. Let's get this into here. Oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, let's really quickly, I'm just going to get a bunch of water in my wok so that that sauce doesn't just stick there and get real gross. And here we go, orange chicken. Okay, so we have our delicious vegetable chow mein. We have bean sprouts, carrot, cabbage, mushrooms, onion, garlic, ginger. No garlic or ginger. Sorry. Super delicious. This on its own makes a really good kind of lunch, especially if you throw some noodles in there. Beautiful. Fried rice, always a classic. You can throw some chicken, pork in here, whatever. This is one of my favorite things to have with leftover rice, obviously. So good. And then finally, our orange chicken, which I'm a little scared to eat because I think it's going to be real hot. I'm gonna go for it anyway, if I can pick it up. Not having a good chopstick day, apparently. Oh my God. That's real good. It's spicy. That chili was spicy, but it is delicious. Guys, that's it. That is Dinner with Ben, Season 2, Episode 1. Orange chicken. Orangey, glad you watched it. Huh? Ha! Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you to Ashworks Cutting Boards for sponsoring the show and for making me my beautiful Chef Ben boards, which are for sale on chefbenkelly.com. Thank you to T North Organic Carbonated Iced Tea. Thank you to all of you for watching, as always. And I will release these recipes tomorrow. If I can't release them on Facebook, I'll put up a message and tell you how to get to them. If they're not on Facebook, they will be on my probably on the Chef Ben page, not the How to Not Burn Shit page. Like I said, I'm really excited. We got a lot of really cool things coming up this year. We're going to do some cool giveaways. We're going to bring in some of you to this show. Maybe I'll come to you and bring the show to you. Who knows? We're going to do some really fun things. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you're as excited as I am, and I cannot wait to eat this. Have a good week. I'll be back on next Monday. I'm not sure what I'm going to make yet, and I'll leave that up to the guest. We'll see you then. Thanks again.